Hey everyone, this is Stephen Greek and my beautiful wife Daisy. We're enjoying our time in Nashville, Tennessee, and we're actually outside. We're on the Vanderbilt campus and we're outside of their stadium where tomorrow, Monday, they're going to have the FCS Division I National Championship between Illinois State and I believe Montana State. We've seen met a lot of people while we've been here over the weekend, and just we're outside of this beautiful stadium and this campus. We're actually going to start walking. Amazing facilities, and it's always neat this time of year because in the football world, you're advancing through the playoffs and you're hoping to continue to march toward that opportunity to compete for a championship. And just looking at Vanderbilt University and the amazing education they offer and the athletic opportunities, historic season, it's always neat to see and hear the stories of people and teams, coaches, student athletes, professionals. The playoffs are going to be beginning for the NFL, and then obviously you have the college football playoffs happening and teams are winning. Who's your team? Comment below. Who do you think is going to win it all? We love to hear that. But my name's Stephen Greek, and we build champions. So I'm a high school football coach, 4-time state champion coach, and had the opportunity to coach a lot of amazing young people. And so over the years and be part of some special moments. But we're walking through Vanderbilt University, beautiful campus, and we're just talking about leadership. And so I'm a speaker, a coach, an author, and I released several books recently, and one of the ones I just released is called Be Great: How the Walk-On Mentality Changes Everything, rather. And so, forgive me, try not to trip while I talk and walk through this campus, but Vanderbilt University, from a football standpoint, has been on fire lately. And whatever you think or however you feel who your team is or isn't, I'm going to turn the camera around here for a second, but Vanderbilt is on the map. And one reason they are on the map is because of a walk-on. You may have heard of Diego Pavia, the quarterback for Vanderbilt. And some of you may be like, I don't know who this is. Well, he was a walk-on. He was a walk-on at the college level, ended up going junior college. I had to bet on himself, and he has quite the story. And I tell a little bit about his story in my new book. And so, again, Be Great: How the Walk-On Mentality Changes Everything. I know for Diego, and really for his teammates, and walking right through Vanderbilt Commodores campus, my wife and I were talking about how amazing the energy must be at this university when the football team is rolling, and they have been rolling lately, and a lot of that is because of the success of their quarterback, Diego, and he was a Heisman finalist, and quite impressive what he was able to accomplish through his college career. And so what does it mean to be great? And we can talk about that in the evening. We can talk about that in the arena of athletics, and we will, absolutely. Being a coach, that's what I do for a living. Try to build champions on and off the field, on and off the court. And so we're good. Thank you. We're crossing the road right here. Want to make sure we don't get hit. There's a big basketball game going on tonight on campus, women's basketball. But, we're talking about Be Great: How the walk-on mentality changes everything. What is the walk-on mentality? Walk-on mentality is when you have to bet on yourselves. In the arena of college sports and athletics, the walk-on is someone who pays their own way for their education, like the average student, and yet chooses to be part of a team, okay, and do all the things the team does, but without the opportunity or compensation for the athletic scholarship. And so the walk-on is expected to do everything that everyone else does that is scholarshiped, right? But they pay their own way, and they basically, in a lot of ways, are kind of a glutton for punishment. They sign up to do all the sprints and all the weightlifting and all the practices, and no matter what sport they play, right? But the walk-on mentality, it takes a different kind of leader, different type of person to say, you know what, I'm gonna bet on myself. I'm gonna go here and try to earn my way and prove myself. And a lot of times, like, why would people do such a thing? Why don't you comment below and let us know your favorite walk-on story? Maybe you've got one. Maybe you personally have an. And when I say walk-on story, it doesn't have to be athletics. It could be, when in life did you bet on yourself because you had something to prove to yourself or to others? And so when we talk about being great, and again, real quick, this is just a beautiful campus. I'm gonna do a quick, like, we're just walking right through campus, and it's a beautiful Sunday afternoon, and just enjoying Vanderbilt University. So once again, if you just jumped on, I'm Stephen Greek. I'm a high school football coach, 4-time state champion. I'm an author, a speaker, and love to encourage people. So we're on all platforms, StephenGreek.com. Follow us, like us, repost if you feel like this is adding value. If you get encouraged and you feel like someone else may be encouraged, tag them in it, send it to them. We appreciate that. But be great. Man, so much in life is staring yourself in the mirror, waking up every day and say, I want to be great. I want to be the best. And you know what? Not everybody, we go through seasons of life. We don't always feel like that. At least I haven't. Sometimes we wake up and maybe feel pretty average, or maybe we feel discouraged. I mean, forget feeling average. Life has a way of beating you down a little bit. And so what does it mean to be great? What does it mean to have that walk-on mentality? What does it mean when you're gonna bet on yourself? So share some stories below, because we want to encourage you. But man, I tell you what, right here on Vanderbilt campus, you know, the night before, there's women's college basketball game going on tonight. We got tomorrow, Monday, we got the FCS National Championship happening.
Somebody named George Floyd is asking you, can you give me a prostate exam?
Nice. Appreciate those comments. That's awesome. Don't think we'll take you up on that, but nonetheless, thank you, honey. Yeah, my wife read that to me. Appreciate that. Great opportunity. But like, you know, at the end of the day, when we talk about being great, who are you as a man or a woman? Who are you as a student? Who are you as an athlete? Who are you if you're a father or a mother, a parent? If you own a business, right? If you're a coach, so much. One of our mentors said this one time, and it stuck with me for years. There is no competition for excellence. I'm going to say that again and let you process that. There is no competition for excellence in life. Let me break that down. Have you ever been to a restaurant and you had a waiter or a waitress taking care of you, right? Let's say you had a glass of water or an iced tea, okay? If you've ever had a great waiter or waitress, when you got thirsty, or you were thirsty, and boy, your glass was about halfway and they were already at your table ready to fill up your cup. They didn't wait on you to ask. They were aware. They were working hard for their tip, right? Those sorts of things. Then you know, like, man, they did a great job. We ought to tip them well, right? But then also, if you've ever been out to eat at a restaurant and had a waiter or a waitress who a server, yeah, they were taking care of you and then they disappeared, right? And you're really thirsty or you're really hungry. Where'd they go? They're gone for 15 or 20 minutes, it feels like. It's like, that's not excellence. Now, again, maybe there was an emergency. I think we should all give grace, because you never know when you're going to need it. But like, what I'm trying to communicate is just painting a picture for you, right, of excellence. When you go out to eat and you have a great waiter, waitress, server, like you know what excellence looks like, you know what it feels like. They're respectful, they're communicating, they can articulate, communicate, and take care of you, right? Well, let me give you one other illustration. If you've ever had a loved one in the hospital, what does it mean to be great? If you've ever had a great nurse or great doctor and they take care of your loved one or you know what greatness looks like, okay? But then if you've ever had an average doctor or an average nurse or below average, you also know what that looks and feels like. And so the reason I bring that up is because who are we in life? Who are we becoming in our friendships, our relationships, our businesses, in our, if we're a parent, if we're a student, if we're an athlete or a coach, right? We are definitely, sorry, I'm reading some of the comments below, but I'm just trying to stay on track right now because I'm walking through Vanderbilt campus. Again, my name's Stephen Greek. I'm an author, speaker, coach, and I recently released a book called Be Great, How the Walk-On Mentality Changes Everything. And we're walking right through the beautiful campus of Vanderbilt University here in Nashville, Tennessee. And if you just jumped on, basically, I was sharing the story about Diego Pavia, a walk-on that had to bet on himself and walk on at the college level to play sports, quarterback, Heisman Trophy finalist, and basically carried, along with great teammates and other phenomenal student athletes, really has energized this campus, right, in the football world. And yet the diploma at this university is very prestigious, right? Beautiful. And so walking through the campus, my wife and I were like, man, this is a special, obviously a special place. And yet, from a football standpoint, the last couple of years, it was a walk-on, somebody that nobody else saw, or very few saw the value that he could bring to the table as a quarterback. A guy that was undersized, under-recruited, maybe not fast enough, maybe not strong enough, but like one thing he said about himself is, I win. You know, you may not like me, but I win. And whatever you think about Diego as a person, I've never met the young man, but I know, there's controversy behind how he has conducted himself off the field or even on the field. There's, if you don't know, you can Google it and you can find out. But the proof is in the pudding. And what I mean by that is what do the results say about what he's done? He's had some great success, and we'll see where that takes him. But that's quite a big leap from being a kid that out of high school, very few people knew about or wanted. And we see that in the college football playoffs right now. Just last week, Ole Miss won a big football playoff game behind their quarterback, who just a year ago was a Division II quarterback. Again, under-recruited, under-offered in the minds of a lot of people, and yet goes out and on a big stage plays extremely well. That is what we're talking about. Leadership, belief, commitment. And that's what I talk about in my book, Be Great, How the Walk-On Mentality changes everything. And so you may not be an athlete, but whoever you are, whatever you do, whatever your purpose is in life, whatever drives you, I would hope that we don't wake up every day and say, man, I just want to be average today. Let's see how mediocre I can be as a husband, as a dad, as a business owner, in my job. And, I share this story, but many years ago when I was much younger, I was working a track meet. As a coach on a weekend, and we had a little break in there and went to the concession stand, probably got something to drink, a little snack, and one of the veteran coaches who was close to retirement, he was sharing some stories, and one of the stories he told, he said, hey, I don't know why all you young coaches, why y'all work so hard, why you care so much. And I, being a young coach and looking up to veteran coaches for wisdom and insight, I leaned in and was listening, eavesdropping to this conversation. And he said, yeah, I mean, you basically make, you make $50,000 sitting down and you make $50,000 standing up. So you might as well just sit down. And processing that, for me, I couldn't wrap my mind around that mentality of just being average. And so tonight, for a few minutes, we just wanted to jump on here and encourage people, whatever you do in life, do it with all your heart, do it with all your soul, do it with all your strength, do it with all your might, because we come across people every single day. Maybe they just need an encouraging word. Maybe they just need a handshake, a fist bump, a hug, something, because we don't know what battles people are fighting. We don't know what burdens people are carrying. And I've had the opportunity over the years to be an assistant coach and a head coach, an athletic director, and be around a lot of amazing leaders and mentors. I really believe that people need encouragement. People are beat up and people want, so if you're a leader, you may not have 300 people under you. You may not have 30 people under you. You may have 3 little ones at home, mama or daddy. And when you get home from a long day, they need your best. And yes, do we get tired? And yes, do you need to take a bubble bath or get you, maybe relax for a little bit? But yeah, sometimes we gotta take a time out, catch our breath. But like at the same time, we gotta bring our best in life. That's the challenge today. So be great. The walk-on mentality. Like I didn't even scratch the surface on what the book is about. But we're going to jump on here periodically. We're on all platforms, so follow us. If you like what you're hearing, man, we appreciate you to share, follow, repost, all those things. But comment below and let us know some of the topics you'd like us maybe to touch on or talk about. And once again, you can go to StephenGreek.com. Look up we've got some free resources and articles, and we obviously have things that we want to invest in people. We want to inspire people, impact people, influence people, and ignite the champion within everybody. Let's not be average. And if you go through a season where you feel average, that's okay. We've all been there. But let's chase greatness. Let's pursue being the best that we can be in our in life, in our relationships, in our businesses, and with our teams. We build champions. Okay. Y'all have a great evening. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you soon. God bless. Bye-bye.